The resource management reform is really important across 3 different changes that we need in the resource management system. The first is providing clearer direction to decision makers to protect the environment. The second is ensuring that there's the appropriate protection of ecosystem health. And the third priority is providing for a greater role of Māori in environmental decision making. This reform is not going to achieve those objectives. The proposed reform suggests that we should use environmental limits to constrain development, and those limits are set at the current state. And what we know across most of the things that we monitor in the Tai Ao is that is all at a degraded state. So one of the concerns is that we need to set environmental limits at a standard that ensures the sustainability. The second concern is not prioritising ecosystem health. This proposal sticks with this old way of doing environmental decision making, balancing out often economic values over ecosystem health. An example of prioritising ecosystem health is Te Mana o Te Wai, that says your first priority is to protect the ecosystem health of water. Your second priority is to provide for use as long as it serves a public good. And then all the other economic uses should follow that. The RMA presently requires that decision makers recognise and provide for Māori relationship to things in the ecosystem, our wahi tapu, social and economic values. On my hapu, we have some really critical concerns about the impact of urban development on the significant sites. Our community, and our wānanga, and our kura, and our marae. The proposed bill defines the Tai Ao as the natural environment. However, under this legislation, that relationship is not appropriately protected. And so our role is limited to just speaking about and influencing decision making as it relates to the natural environment. So that's a big step back for us. The other aspect of this reform is that it will diminish our role as Māori. This proposed bill is drafted to recognise and provide for iwi and hapu. It's critical that the actual whānau landowners, customary rights holders, marae, that our groups that are on the ground and who actually hold these kaitiaki rights are included in the conversation, because these decisions ultimately impact them. And we need to ensure that the resource management system protect the rangatiratanga of those that hold those rights. The need in the reform was to establish a process that enabled those things to be worked through. And again, I would reference the use of a concept like mana whakahaere that requires that decision makers recognise all those different rights and interests at place. We need to send a clear message to this government that we need to protect Te Tai Ao. As Māori, we have a right to be involved as customary rights holders, as kaitiaki, in all environmental decision making, not just in one part of it. Get active and submit. Submissions close on the reform on the 30th of January, and I would really encourage you strongly to do that.